I get asked all the time, Jeremy, how do you work so hard? Jeremy, how do you work so much? Jeremy, how do you hit the gym so hard? Jeremy, how do you climb all these mountains that take like 12 hours and just destroy your body? And in this video, I'm gonna play a segment of a clip that I recorded while coming down from a mountain last week, actually. And I talk about the mindset, the mentality that you need to have in business and life to actually achieve the things that you want in life, to actually hit your goals, make sure that you actually achieve them, and how to just keep going when times get tough, because times do get tough and business is hard. It's not easy. A lot of the times it's not very fun. You gotta do a lot of the boring things and it sucks. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about the mentality behind that, how to get through it, how to really master that concept of just tackling life and doing whatever it takes to achieve your goals. So anyways, that's it for the intro. But if you like this video, if you found it helpful, and if you relate to the mentality, the mindset behind it, drop a like, really appreciate it. But nonetheless, let's get right into it. Well, here's tonight's accommodations at Wedgemount Lake. Nice little glacier lake. Sun's about to set. But so I want to talk to you guys about something today that's on my mind. It's about the concept of just kind of taking things one step at a time. So it was an absolute grind getting up here. And every step sucked. It's super steep. And it was only a few hours, but super steep. Had a big pack on, staying the night here, so I got my tent and all my camping gear. But I was listening to a podcast on the way up by Bill Ackman, or with Bill, and he's a legendary investor. And he was talking about like his failures, and when he would build something up, and all of a sudden it would be taken away from him, or like shit would just hit the fan. And anyways, the next thing, like when he had to rebuild, then that's when like he's like, don't look at how far behind you are and how far ahead, like how much further there is to go. He's like, don't look at the peak, just just focus step by step, take it one step at a time, and don't look ahead. And it's kind of the same thing with business too. Like whether you're building a company, whether you're starting a new relationship or something, it's like, don't worry too much about like the end goal in terms of like, oh, I want to make 100K a month. Just focus on what you can do right now to make some progress and to make forward progress, get forward momentum every single day. That will get you one step closer to your goals. So just want to share that with you guys because it's very relatable. And I know in business, you set your goal, oh, I want to hit 10K a month, and when you don't, then you're bummed, right? But you're looking at the peak. Just focus on the actions, the daily 20 miles, the daily actions that you got to do every single day to actually help you get there, and that are actually going to like help you achieve those goals. And the only way to achieve goals is one step at a time. So I know this is a short one, but I'll leave you with that. And I'm going to go enjoy some food. Got some mushroom risotto tonight and some dried mangoes. So I'm gonna go to town, enjoy the sunset, enjoy the lake. I'll see you guys in the next one. I think one of the reasons why I like hiking so much and climbing mountains is because I hate it. It sucks. I'm heading down right now. My knees are just destroyed. Got a heavy pack on. It's steep and a little slippery. Like I just kind of rolled my ankle there. Could have been a lot worse, but definitely a little something. Probably just taper up tonight and be fine for the other hike that I'm doing. But it's funny. Like yesterday, I was talking about how we just need to not focus on like the end goal and the destination. We just need to focus on one step at a time. I always catch myself like doing the former and like just thinking about the end goal, thinking about where I'm trying to get to and kind of the outcome. But it doesn't really serve you in business or climbing mountains. It's like literally the only way to get to the top of the mountain is by putting one foot in front of the other, like repeatedly, over and over, even when it sucks, especially when it sucks, and it freaking sucks. And another comparable too is like when you start hiking or when you start running or you start doing anything, the first 30 minutes, it sucks ass. Like you just want to quit. You don't want to be there. You don't want to do it. You want to turn around. Your body's in pain. You're struggling. You're suffering. But then you kind of hit that runner's high. You kind of catch a little bit of momentum, a little bit of traction. And when you get that traction, that's when things start to pick up a little bit. Your body doesn't feel as tired. Your muscles are warmed up. You can go a little bit longer without taking a rest, without huffing and puffing. Your heart rate goes down even. Like the inputs required to sustain it become less, making it more sustainable and more manageable. It's the exact same thing with business. When you're first starting out, it's going to suck. You're going to be huffing and puffing. Your heart rate's going to be through the fucking roof. You're going to be doing a whole lot of work. It's going to be very taxing, and you're not going to get very far. But if you just keep hammering, you endure it, keep going, keep doing the boring things every single day, one foot in front of the other, then you'll get to the top. The only way not to is by quitting and turning around. Like literally. And it's kind of like in the book Mastery, which is one of my favorite books by Robert Greene. And he outlines like the 3 phases of mastery, or the 3 stages. The first one is the apprenticeship phase, where you don't really know what the hell you're doing. You're like a baby deer or a baby giraffe just trying to stand up and trying to figure out what the hell's going on. That's where you consume a lot of information, you learn skills, you build your skills, you latch on to mentors that have done what you want to do so they can teach you, and you can speed up your learning curve. And then once you've got a very fundamental understanding of the basics and you have a strong foundation, then that's when you move into phase 2. Which is the creative active phase, which is where you kind of step out of your apprenticeship and you start to innovate. You start to try new things. Be like, okay, now that I understand the basics so well, how can I make this better? And you kind of put your own spin on things. You try it on your own. You go out, you get kicked in the teeth a lot, dragged through the mud, get beat up. Try a lot of things, most of them fail. And then you finally find something or a couple things that start to work. Like, okay. Now I'm starting to get some traction, right? And then you get better and better. By innovating, you start to see things from a different perspective as well. And when you see things from a different perspective, you're able to kind of take a step backwards. Or not backwards, you're able to take a step back and look at things from a higher viewpoint. Watch this, it's pretty cool. Anyways, you're able to see things from a different lens. And when you can see things from a different lens, one from a higher view, that's where you start to achieve mastery. When you've just done so many reps, you've put in the work, you've been hammering it out, and you've just gotten so proficient in what you do. You're so damn good at it. And that's kind of like those 3 stages are kind of the same thing with like climbing mountains. It's like the first phase, the apprenticeship phase, is that first 30 to 60 minutes where your body hurts, you suck, you're suffering, you're going pretty slow, and it feels like you're burning yourself out. And a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs that are in that first phase, they're only looking at the end goal. They're looking at phase, like stage 3 mastery. Oh, why aren't I there yet? Or they're looking at the top of the mountain saying, why am I not there yet? It's like, bro, you haven't earned it. You haven't fucking done the work for long enough for it to compound and for you to increase your skills. You haven't followed enough. You haven't learned from enough mentors and teachers to learn those skills. And with hiking, it's like you haven't actually like acclimatized to it. It's something new entirely that you haven't done before. Well, how do you expect to be good at something you've never done before? Right? And then when you move into phase 2, that's when things start to get a little bit easier, because you've kind of got a really good grasp on the fundamentals. Hopefully you guys can see now why I'm kind of not looking at the camera. But you've got a really solid grasp on the fundamentals, and when you have a solid grasp on the fundamentals, that's when you start to get a little momentum, a little traction, and start stacking some wins, right? Now you can start like ripping up the mountain a little bit, and now you're starting to book sales calls. Now you're starting to sign clients. Now you're starting to get your clients' results, right? And each one of those wins stacks upon each other and helps you build a lot of competence, which then in turn leads to competence. The better you get at doing the thing, the more confident you'll be in doing the thing. That leads to you being able to charge more for your services, because now you've got better case studies and better results, not only on the front end in your marketing, but on the back end in your own conviction in what you do, right? If it's something you've never done before, you've only done a few times, like probably wouldn't go out there charging $10K a month for something you've never done, right? Start small, get some clients in the door, start working with some people, and then you can get that experience, get that conviction, and that's when you're going to get a lot of traction. So that's kind of like stage 1 and 2. And then once you get towards like where I'm at right now, we've got some pretty big mountains, and you're in the tree line for a while, which is like phase 1 and 2. But once you break out of the tree line into the alpine, where it's just like rocks, you see all the peaks, and you actually see like the summit and where you're going, that's like stage 3. That's where the real fun starts. So you've got momentum, you've got traction behind you already. You just spent hours just grinding up this shitty trail in the woods with not much reward. And then all of a sudden, boom, you pop out of the tree line. You see these huge mountains poking out all around you. You can finally see your destination as well. You can see the top, where you're going. And that's where the real fun starts. That's where it's really important to have a very, very strong fundamental understanding of what the hell you're doing. So if you're up in the alpine on a scramble and you're like traversing a ridge, you know, like a knife edge ridge, where it's just like a couple 100 feet drops on both sides, you need to know what you're doing. It's the same in business, right? If you promise your clients the world but you can't deliver, then you're gonna fall off the cliff, and it's gonna be really damn hard to recover. So it's really important to have that fundamental understanding of the basics when you're up there, what to do, what not to do, how how to shift your weight, where to put your feet, what to do with your hands, what kind of gear you need as well. Like, you need ropes and harnesses, crampons, axes, who knows, right? But hopefully if you've done a lot of hikes, then your body's going to be a lot more acclimatized and a lot more used to it. Probably not be as beat up, especially if you take care of it. But then B, you're going to know exactly what to expect. You're going to know exactly what's coming. You're going to know exactly how to prepare for it and how to make the most out of it, right? So it's the same thing in business, right? When you start making some good money, starting to make 10, 20, 30, 50K a month, you're starting to get some traction. You got some momentum behind you, right? And with that said, now you're kind of starting to enter the big leagues. And when you're entering the big leagues, that's when there's less room for error because you're on a bigger stage. There's more people watching. Your reputation is really important. How do you build a really good reputation? By over-delivering on your promises, by having a really damn good product. And when your business grows through word of mouth, you don't even need to market it. People are just telling their friends about it. That's dangerous. That's when you've got something pretty deadly on your hands. And when you achieve that point, I don't know if you'll ever achieve or reach like the destination, so to say, or the summit. I think it's just a steady climb upwards that never ends. But that's when like your product, your offer is doing the selling for you. Your clients are doing the selling for you. They're doing the marketing for you. And like requires a lot less input. So you've built the foundations. You've got everything set, nice and solid. And now it's just making little tweaks here and there. You understand the foundation so well that you could sleepwalk into it. And without even thinking. Like I remember the first time that I was like way up in the Alpine, like traversing a super sketchy ridge, where it's like literally like one wrong step and you'd literally die. And I was scared shitless because I hadn't done it much. But then I just kind of did it more and more, took it really slow, one step at a time, and then I kind of got used to it. And then we had to go back. And then the next time I did something like that, I was a little more comfortable because I had that confidence in my competence. Because I was like, okay, well, I've done something like this before. I survived. I made it through. Well, I can do something like this again. Right? And that's how you build. That's how you build your confidence, through building your competence. And yeah, that's just some thoughts that I've been having while grinding on this mountain. My knees are shot. Every step fucking hurts. Especially going down, it's like the worst. It's just a different kind of pain. And then gonna head back into town to my buddy's place, do some work. I got a few calls today, make some dough, and then taking the afternoon off, linking up with another buddy who I skied with last week, and we're gonna go climb another mountain. It's probably like a 4-hour uphill climb, 4-hour ascent, basically straight up. It's a bitch, that one, Mount Harvey. We did it last summer, and it's like probably steeper than this. It's like literally insane. But I'm not thinking about it. All I'm thinking about is just one foot in front of the other right now, and then I'll get there eventually. So see you in the next one.